Hi, I'm David with Nomadic RV Living, and today I'm going to take you on a road trip up to Sturgis, South Dakota for the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. I'm going to the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally for a couple reasons. One is I need a vacation. I have some vacation time and it's too damn hot here this year in Texas, so I'm ready to get the heck out of here. I'm going up there to work at a campground for 2 weeks. Last year I worked check-in for 2 weeks. This year I'm working check-in for the first week and then bar security for the second week, which will be good experience for me as I transition into full-time RVing. It'll be good on a resume. I can show that I have actual experience working at a campground. It's about 1,100, almost 1,100 miles up to Sturgis from where I live, and during the 2 weeks I'm up there, I'm going to be sleeping in my SUV. So I have a video on my SUV sleeping area and my screen netting, a video on that on no CM netting, so that'll give me an opportunity to see how that works out for 2 weeks. I'm also going up there, I want to document the actual Sturgis experience for you in a video. I'm not sure how exactly it's going to turn out, whether it's a documentary or just a video, but I want to do that as well. So anyway, it's hot, I'm ready to get out of here. SUV's packed, I gotta change, and let's go. Well, I made it to Concordia, Nebraska. Drove about 450 miles today. Boondocking at a Walmart parking lot. First time in the SUV. First time boondocking in a Walmart parking lot. I'm going to show you my setup in here. But all I can say is if you have two people, you have to get a rooftop cargo box, because it's just me and I got a lot of crap. Granted, I'm going to be camping for 2 weeks in Sturgis, so I brought a lot of stuff, but still just tons and tons of stuff. So I'm going to try to show you around and see how it goes. Anyway, over here I have my curtain set up. It's a curtain rod, some curtains I made or used. I'll explain that in another video. Back there I have my Reflectix, and then up back there I have a towel that I use, these little binder clips you use at work to clip up there on the little strip up there. Reflectix, my Lucy light works great. Down there kind of cramped, but and then up there I have my Reflectix. I painted those black. Usually the black goes on the outside, but it was sticking to the window, and I said, phooey, I'm in a Walmart parking lot. They know what I'm doing. My window shade, I turned the other way around, the black's facing out. Put my luggage up here. Got my cooler, my water jugs down there. So, anyway, oh, my fan. The fan I bought, it's okay. It's not the greatest. but it works. Also, a couple things very important. Earplugs, I got those. And this, it's an eye mask you put over your eyes to block out the light. So anyway, we'll see. Hope I sleep well. Well, hello, I'm in Concordia, Nebraska. Did my inaugural boondocking, first night boondocking in a Walmart parking lot. It's something every RVer does, and it was not bad at all. I slept really well. Went to bed. I was actually warm, but overnight it got chilly. It's a beautiful morning. I'm guessing probably 65, 70. Yeah, earplugs worked. Face mask, eye mask works great. Yeah, slept good. Show you around real quick. That pickup truck over there was not there last night when I went to bed, so he showed up. That RVer over there, they were there when I got here last night. But one thing I did was not good, but I mean it was good. I was going to drive about another, I stopped here about 11 o'clock last night. Now, I was going to drive about another hour and a half, but I would have been tired. It took me a while to get set up in my vehicle with the Reflectix for the first time and just getting everything set up for the first time, so I'm glad I did. The other thing is, you can see all those bugs. I tell you what, bugs were just pelting the heck out of the window. And so nice thing about driving during the day, you don't have to deal with those bugs. So anyway, I'll show you around. I mean, it's a beautiful day. Heading up to Sturgis or Rapid City, South Dakota. So I'm traveling up Highway 81 through central Nebraska. And if you've never been to Nebraska, it can be summed up in one word: corn. Actually 3 words: corn, corn, and more corn. Miles and miles and miles of cornfields. Can you say high fructose corn syrup fast 3 times? I don't think so. So I'm traveling to Sturgis and I come across this town called Bow, Nebraska. I stopped to get some lunch. I noticed this town is very clean and there's development going on. I was shocked. Town of 3,600 people. So I'm impressed. So I thought I'd stop and just have a little lunch. Good pizza. Of course, I'm eating pizza for lunch. Well, I made it to Sturgis, and I've actually been sleeping in the SUV for the past 2 weeks while I have been working at a campground here called Shade Valley. Highly recommend it as a customer and an employee. Over the past 2 weeks of sleeping in the SUV, I've kind of learned some, I guess, tricks, not tricks, but things that need to be changed. Because after 2 weeks, you kind of learn what works and what doesn't. The sleeping bedding that I used was a very thick, very thick sleeping bag, and I covered it with a fitted sheet and another sheet. And then for the cop, I used a another sleeping bag. It was still kind of hard, so I went to Walmart and got a camping mat. It says roll up thin. They're about this thick. It helped a little bit, but I still slept well. But one thing I'm going to do differently is I'm going to add maybe some memory foam or some kind of foam to make the bedding area more comfortable. But one thing I did notice was when I roll over at night, my hips hit the platform a little bit. Not much. It's not a big deal. But if I put a thicker foam in there, I'm gonna have to raise that platform, which I'll probably just put some blocks underneath it to raise it, so I have more room to roll over. And if you haven't seen my video on my sleeping platform area, check out the video as well. So that's it for the sleeping area. Let's see what else. Oh, the Reflectix. I use Reflectix on these windows and the back windows. These work fine because there's a lip around the inside of the window, so the Reflectix stays in there very snugly. Snugly? I don't know if that's a word. Snug. The back windows, though, the problem with that is it's molded plastic and there's no lip. So the Reflectix, I had to use painter's tape to keep it in place, but that didn't hold very well. So I'm going to either use Gorilla Tape or duct tape to try that route. But if you have any suggestions on a way to kind of keep the Reflectix in a window where there's no lip, put your comments below so we all can learn from that. What else? The screen netting. In one of my other videos I showed you how to install the screen netting. One of the metal magnetic strips, I lost that. I have more at home, so I can cut another piece when I get back. But I tried using painter's tape. Painter's tape does not stick to screen netting. Now duct tape might, or Gorilla Tape, or another type of packaging tape might work as well. That's an option to consider. But I have a lot of that roll left over of that magnetic stripping I can use, so I'll cut another piece for that. Another thing I did was I forgot to charge my phone one day, and I didn't want to go to sleep and not have the alarm go off, so I'll show you what I did. So for my phone charger, the campground where I'm staying provided electricity, and I just ran the cord up here, ran my cell phone charger down the window, and charged my phone while I was sleeping. I knew it wasn't going to rain. If it was going to rain, I would have pulled this all the way in instead of leaving the charger out like this. If you're wondering what these are for, these are the rails for my tarp setup. And I have another video on how I use these for a tarp setup. So if you want to check that out, please do so. One thing I want to add about sleeping in an SUV versus a tent. For me, I am not an expert on tent camping. Last year I slept in a tent for 2 weeks and that's it. So I'm not an expert on tent camping. When I got to Sturgis, the tent that the campground provided, it leaked the first night it rained. Said phooey with that. But with the tent, it blows around, so the flaps and it makes noise. And in here it's nice and dark with all the Reflectix, shade, my eye mask, earplugs. It's very quiet. Versus a tent, once the sun comes up, it just lights right up. Nothing wrong with sleeping in a tent, but I use the tent that they provided to store some stuff in there. So it's nice to have a tent. You bring a tent along with you. If you don't have a cargo box on top of your vehicle, you can bring a tent, set it up, put a lot of stuff in the tent, and use that as storage while you are sleeping. You know, for these windows, this window and the back windows, I used the Reflectix, and in the very back I used a towel. I could use Reflectix back there. I did cut a piece, but I think I'm going to run into the same problem. I need a way to secure it back there, especially opening up the hatch excuse me, on the back of the SUV. But for here, what I used is these it's a shade system. Let me show you what I did. This is a curtain, leftover curtain I had. It's not a blackout curtain, but it's pretty dark and it's too long. I bought a wooden dowel rod from the Home Depot. They're a buck or two. And I stapled it with a staple gun so it wouldn't slide off. And then I folded it in half and just stapled it. It doesn't look pretty, but it works. And these are a buck at Home Depot, and then on the inside are the grab handles. And I just essentially clip it on to the grab handle like that, and it stays like that. And it allows a gap between the shade and the window, so some air gets back there as well. Works great. In the front, I use the typical shade screen. I think I mentioned earlier. What else? Oh, organization. In a small space, I tell you what, you can lose stuff really easy in a small space. You put down your cell phone and you do something else and you look and like, where'd your phone go? Or your hat. I had a hat. It was about 50 to 60 degrees at night. Sometimes I wore a hat at night. You put down your hat, you do something else, and like, where'd the hat go? And you have to kind of, it's amazing how you how you can lose stuff in such a small space. Well, I made it back from Sturgis, had a good 2-week vacation and enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe below, and also hit the bell notification below so the next time I upload some new videos, you will be notified. I appreciate your time. Thank you and have a great day.